young ones or just love nature, we suggest taking full advantage of today.
The day is nice. Sunlight is streaming in through your window, and if you strain your ears, you can hear singing birds. You're just finishing putting the dishes away when there's a knock at the door. You make your way through your unfamiliar apartment to open the door. The woman on the other side smiles brightly at you, placing a hand on the doorframe as she leans in.
Hey, there's a sale at the Grey Jackal. What's with that look?
You don't know this person. She smiles at you as though you two are familiar with each other, familiar enough for her to know where you live and to invite you to shop with her on a whim. You ask who she is. She rolls her eyes.
You don't recognize me? Alex? We've been friends since forever. Come on, let's go shopping.
Linking arms, she leads you out of your apartment and into the city. You don't recognize anything. Not your apartment complex. Not the small park across the street. Not the neighborhood that she leads you out of. It's not too hot or too cool. Rows of trees line the unfamiliar path Alex leads you down, shading the path with their deep green leaves. Alex continues to make small talk along the way as she walks shoulder to shoulder with you. You arrive at the mall. You don't recognize it. It's large, with plenty of open space, despite all the people. You keep pace with Alex, who enthusiastically hurries through the mall, already knowing where she's going. Occasionally, she takes a moment to admire the things in the large display windows. Again, she stops in front of a display window, a clothing outlet this time. She points.
What do you think?
You look at the dress. It's a simple floral pattern, a nice trim of ruffles on the hem. Crawling across the chest is a beetle, large, round, and brown. It's encrusted with shining jewels and stones. It struggles to fly, flapping its wings in vain as it remains in its spot. Twitching, its legs stretch out and dig into the fabric as it moves only inch by inch from the waist. You ask if that is a live beetle.
Not the brooch, stupid. The dress. You know I can't afford something like that. Never mind. Let's keep going.
You continue wandering through the mall until Alex seems to have brought the both of you to her destination.
Here we are.
The store has no signs that bear any names. The display windows seem to be blacked out, perhaps with paint. Alex pulls open the door and pushes aside a thick velvet curtain that hides the contents of the store from the rest of the mall. The inside of the store is brightly lit, and navigating through the clothing racks and displays is easy. Disfigured mannequins stand in various dynamic poses. One, smartly dressed in a woolly cardigan and form-fitting slacks, is covered in burns and soot. The head is deformed and misshapen.
Ooh, 30% off. Ugh, but it's only available in puke green. Oh well.
You follow Alex deeper into the store. The clothing racks and display shelves are just high enough that you can't see over them, but Alex seems to know where she's going. You can't navigate the store by yourself. The two of you end up in front of a giant rack of overcoats, arranged neatly in rainbow order. A sign declares the coats all 100% genuine leather.
Ugh, did we take a right at the children's section?
You didn't notice a children's section. But Alex is heading off the way you came, and again you're following her through the store. You don't see the thick velvet curtain at the store's entrance until Alex is pushing it aside so that both of you can exit freely.
Well, that was disappointing.
It's you.
Sidro!
You don't know this man, although he clearly recognizes you.
You don't recognize me. Typical. Listen, I'd love to stay and catch up, but I really need to go. The cashiers are going to get loose, and I have an appointment to get to. I can't get caught up in that kind of traffic.
Will we be able to window shop at least?
You'll have to look past the blood splatter on the glass and stick to the shadows. But yes, I really need to hurry.
You ask what he means by blood spatters. But Alex only rolls her eyes, and Sidro pulls up his sleeve to check his watch before pulling the sleeve back down.
From when they start hunting people down, they prefer raw flesh. Everyone knows that. Raw flesh is the best. Now, I have to go. Don't die.
Hope you avoid traffic, Sidro.
I will.
You watch him rush away, haste adding purpose to his stride. Alex links her arm around yours and continues strolling down the mall. You ask Alex if the two of you are staying at the mall.
Psh! You act like you've never seen a massacre before. Now!
People are screaming as they pour out of the stores, pushing and shoving each other, each of them ignoring all others, focusing instead on the singular goal of getting away. A huge creature pounces out of the store you and Alex had just left, tearing the thick black curtain effortlessly with huge jaws. It's just as large as an average man, with heavily defined muscles that flex with each step it takes. You can't discern any eyes or ears, but it has a nose that sniffs the air, with almost delicate movements oddly different to the rest of its monstrous body. Just below the nose is a giant maw, almost overflowing with sharp teeth. It's not the teeth that are overflowing, you realize, but the rest of its body, which seems to ooze down to the floor in a sickly, slow motion. Around its neck hangs a heavy chain, with the final link snapped and broken. The creature pounces on a woman, sinking sharp teeth into her neck, and you can only hear her screams for a moment before she goes silent. Blood and black sludge mix into a disgusting thick puddle on the ground as it feasts, and all around people are running for more of these creatures.
Always on time, Sidro. So, what store do you want to hit up next?
Not What She Seems was written by Savannah Hernandez and Natalie Kim, and produced by Geometric Mistakes. The narrator is voiced by Natalie Kim. The radio host and little sister is voiced by Savannah Hernandez. Alex is voiced by Music Master, and Cedro is voiced by Jimmy Good. Thank you for listening. If you like what we do, please support us on Patreon.